Imagine standing at the base of a jagged mountain peak. The terrain is unfamiliar, the climb is steep, and every direction looks like a dead end. Reaching the summit safely requires knowing exactly where to place your feet. The ancient Israelites found themselves in this position. Escaping centuries of slavery in Egypt, they crossed the Red Sea into an unforgiving wilderness. They were a community of over 1 million people trying to survive in a landscape with no infrastructure. Without a shared understanding of how to treat one another, the heat and scarcity of the desert could easily have turned this new freedom into chaos. After 3 months, they reached Mount Sinai. A dense cloud consumed the peak. Lightning pulsed from within, and a trumpet blast shook the ground. The sight was so overwhelming that the people stayed at the foot of the mountain, fearful. Moses alone was called to climb upward, disappearing into the smoke to meet with God on behalf of the nation. God gathered them here to establish the structure for their new society. These laws provided the stability they needed to remain unified as a free and holy nation in the wilderness. This meeting established a covenant, a formal, loving promise between God and his people. It functioned like a family bond, where a king who rescued his subjects showed them how to live under his protection. God gave Moses the 10 Commandments inscribed on stone tablets. These were the foundational requirements for their new life together. These instructions established 2 paths. The first focused on God, keeping him at their center through exclusive worship, honoring his name, and holy rest. The second path taught them to live peacefully with neighbors, honoring parents, protecting life, speaking truth, and respecting others' property. One specific commandment targeted the internal desire to covet. This warned against the jealousy that takes root in the heart, destroying our ability to be grateful for what God has provided. Living within these boundaries keeps the community healthy. These instructions act as safety features of the climb, preventing travelers from wandering over the edge. Of course, even with clear directions, human weakness remains a reality. No one manages to stay perfectly on the path at every moment. When we lie, act out of anger, or turn away from God, we are essentially tripping over a stone and falling into the dust, away from the safety of the path. In the Orthodox understanding, sin is not just a list of broken rules. It is a spiritual injury or an illness that makes our souls sick and separates us from the life God intended for us. Because God desires our health, the Church provides the sacrament of confession. This is where God provides the grace and restoration needed to heal these spiritual wounds. In confession, we admit where we have fallen. Through the priest, God offers complete forgiveness and the strength needed to stand back up and continue the journey. The 10 Commandments define the way of love we are meant to walk, and through his mercy in confession, God ensures that no matter how many times we stumble, there is always a way to return to the path.